Welcome to One Small Step. This is the FMC findmecoaches.com PodClass series. It's so named because we aim with each episode to leave our audience with at least one small step that will take them nearer to achieving their goals, reaching their full potential. I'm Colin Newbold and I'm the founder of FMC, which is a coaching platform where you can find certified and experienced professional coaches who work with clients across a wide variety of areas. And the format of these episodes is an interview that I record with a selection of our coaches. Welcome to the next episode of our One Small Step podcast series. This one features a coach by the name of Lara Odushegun. Now, Lara is originally Nigerian born, but has been living and working in the UK for most of her life. I think that's correct. Lara will correct me if I'm wrong about that. But she's a great coach and has skills in a number of different but related coaching areas. But for this podcast, Lara, you've chosen to talk about leadership coaching. So what makes you choose that?
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, Colin, for having me. And yes, I am originally from Nigeria. I came to the UK when I was around 3. So the UK is like my home and this is where my family are. So yes, thank you for that introduction. So the reason I chose leadership is because I believe it's foundational, both to our personal and professional growth. And also because it's an area where many professional women and aspiring leaders, they often feel stuck in this area because of fear, self-doubt, and other limiting beliefs. So I also like to stress on the fact that the reason I chose it is because when it comes to leadership, it's not just about leading others, it's about leading yourself with that confidence and conviction. So when you're able to lead yourself first, then you're able to lead other people as well. And so by addressing leadership, I can help these women to actually break through those barriers that are holding them back. And then I can empower them to reach their full potential. And then they're able to actually thrive in their career, in their business, and in their life. And I just want to talk a little bit more about self-leadership, which is what I refer to, leading yourself first before you lead others, and also holistic leadership. Because like you said, I do have skills and experience in quite a lot of different modalities, including healing modalities and mindfulness as well. And I always like to bring that together when I do my coaching so that it's a holistic approach. So first of all, I'll just talk a little bit about self-leadership. So I believe that self-leadership is important because no matter where you want to use your leadership skills, and whether that's in business, whether that's in an organization, community, a football team, or just within your family as well. So I believe that you must lead yourself first. And it's, me, myself, I always like to lead by example. So when you're leading, to a great extent, a lot of people say, practice what I preach or things like that. I like to preach what I practice. So that way I'm literally just doing whatever I do and then talking about what I do. And that way, I'm hoping that I'm inspiring and empowering other people in the process. So I do believe that leadership of yourself is key to being able to lead others, because from my knowledge, all great leaders from the past and from the present have always shown that great leadership of themselves first. And I believe that it's only by leading yourself to a point of authenticity that you can then, truly lead others really well and to the best of your ability as well. So I have this quote here that's by John Quincy Adams that says, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader." And I love that because it kind of like summarizes everything that I'm talking about. Because as a leader, sometimes we get a bit mixed up with the leader and the manager. So I prefer being a leader as opposed to a manager, because when you're leading others, it's about, them being able to see that vision. So you'd be able to create a clear vision, whether it's for yourself, as your brand, whether it's for your organization, but being able to, really paint that vision that's really clear and compelling so that others they choose to follow you. they choose to, be a part of this, vision that you have, because they're really compelled by it, and they're inspired by it, and they're empowered by it. So that's why I'm really strong about that self-leadership first as a aspect of leadership. And then when it comes to holistic leadership, so in essence, holistic leadership is about leading with your heart and your mind and your soul. So whilst at the same time considering the full spectrum of factors that actually influence the individuals and the collective success as well. So holistic leadership, like I just said, basically it's an approach that considers, the whole person. So the mind, the body, and the spirit, or the soul, like I said. And then, you combine that along with the broader context in which they operate, so whether that's an organization, whether that's a community, or whether that's the actual environment. So unlike traditional leadership modalities, they generally just focus primarily on the goal, achieving specific goals, or like I said before, managing teams, or at the same time as well, just looking at that small picture. But when it comes to holistic leadership, that emphasizes on the integration of the personal well-being, also the actual relationships, ethical decision-making, and the overall impact on the larger system as well. So that's holistic leadership as a whole. And just a few key areas. I'll just mention the key areas. I might not go into it because of the time, but a few of the key aspects of holistic leadership are self-awareness. So actually, I'll talk a little bit about self-awareness, because when holistic leaders have that deep understanding of their own values, their beliefs, their strengths, and the areas that they have for growth, then they're able to prioritize their personal development and their emotional intelligence, which then enables them to lead with authenticity. And through that authenticity, when they're leading authentically, it actually inspires people, which is like, what I said initially about, leading with that vision. The other key areas are like interconnectedness, ethical and value-based decision-making, empathy and compassion, and balance and well-being, and then, like I said before, that long-term vision. So that's what I really like to focus on when I am coaching in leadership, or training in leadership, or mentoring in leadership as well. So that key area of self-leadership first, and then the key area of looking at it as a holistic approach. So yeah.
It's really interesting. It's a long answer, but it really does showcase what you're about, and it's very interesting, because literally this week, you will know that my and for the audience, my other business is Click 360, which is a 360-degree feedback platform, and on that business this week I got a brand new client, and the client, probably too early to say who they are, but they're a well-known retail motoring organization. They've just employed somebody that I used to work with. And she's gone in as the head of leadership development, and she's inherited a pretty new leadership framework, which was built with the help of an outside consulting company. And she's looked at it and she said, it's got a big component missing, and I'm going to put that right. She said, it starts with leading the industry for the very senior people. Then it's about leading the organization for the sort of next tier down. And then it's about leading others, which is specifically aimed at team leaders. And it stops there. And she says, I want to add leading self. Yeah. So, and they're a big player. I'll say more about that in due course. But yeah, so she's going to put together 4 different questionnaires, including the leading self, which in a way I agree with her and you in that that's where it should start. Even when you first start working, that is so important to get right. And it makes it so much easier to then transition towards leading others and so on. Anyway, so well done. Yeah, thank you for that. So you've mentioned in that introduction your speciality is working with women, but is it only women that you work with? I mean, what type of people are your typical clients?
Well, I do work with men as well, so I don't want to exclude the men out of this. But if I do work more with women, and my typical clients are professional women, female leaders, aspiring leaders as well, who are driven and ambitious, but perhaps they find themselves being held back by internal barriers, such as fear or self-doubt, and also limiting beliefs as well. And they are individuals who are, like I said, they are ambitious, but because of that current state that they're in, it's they're feeling stuck in their current role, or they're feeling stuck in their particular life situation. And so what they're doing is they're seeking guidance to break through these barriers and elevate their leadership skills, and then step into their true potential with renewed confidence and sometimes with renewed self-worth as well. So, like I said, the way that I focus, on, the foundational steps of self-love as well. So, that plays a core part in it as well. But in general, it's ambitious women who are, either aspiring leaders, or they are leaders, or professional women, like I said, aspiring to be leaders, but they're just stuck at a particular roadblock, and they need that support and that guidance to break through those limiting beliefs.
Okay. So in terms of your coaching style, how would you describe it? How would you describe the way you coach?
Yeah, so my coaching style, I would say it's empathetic, empowering, holistic, and results driven, so results oriented. So I believe in creating a very safe and supportive environment for my clients, where they feel heard, they feel understood, and also I'm challenging them to grow as well. So I use a blend of different practical strategies and deep inner work as well. And so this helps my clients to be able to shift their mindset, to overcome obstacles, and then take actionable steps towards their goals. So my approach combines various different modalities. So, for example, results coaching, NLP, timeline therapy, activation method coaching, as well as, positive intelligence, emotional intelligence, because, that's really important as well. And then also, the mindfulness aspects. And because I do have skills and experience in healing, like I said before, I'm able to help my clients get straight to the root cause of their problem. And once we're able to do this, then we're then able to move forward, focusing on their goals and, what they need to achieve that. And my approach is also collaborative, in the sense that this ensures that each client feels ownership of their journey and is empowered to lead themselves towards success. So it's, it's a collaborative effort.
Okay. Just listening to you, Lara, I mean, I hadn't asked this question of any of the other guests, but I feel compelled to ask this one of you. Just briefly summarize your journey, how you got to be the coach that you are today.
So I'll summarize it as short as I can. So, it's two aspects, I would say. One aspect which I'll wrap it up as confidence, and then the other aspect which I'll wrap it up as, let's say, fulfillment. So growing up, I was a very confident child. But along the line, I lost that confidence in myself. So, which kind of put me in a lot of situations where, due to different reasons, like maybe I subconsciously chose to not be in the limelight. So, but that in a way was always conflicting with who I really was, because who I really am is a confident person, is someone who wants to help people. And to be able to help people, I need to be able to shine my light so that I'm able to help theirs. But anyway, along the way, I did a biomedical sciences degree, but I changed to programming. So for many, many years, I was a programmer, but I very quickly moved up the ladder. So from programmer to team leader to manager, but I always felt like an imposter. So this is where I go back to when I say, these ambitious women who are having, these doubts and things holding them back. So I always felt like an imposter. But a lot of the time, I was like the only woman in a group of many men, because obviously this was many years ago. My first role as a programmer was in 2001. So
Are you sure you don't look old enough? Seriously.
Everyone says that. I'm not going to say how old I am, but a lot of people say that I'm actually older than I look. But so I always felt like an imposter. And even though other people saw my potential, I never really did. So because of this lack of self-doubt, this lack of self-confidence, I was always not fulfilling my full potential. It also was led like in my marriage as well. I was in a toxic relationship and I just felt like I wasn't heard, wasn't seen. So there was all these things around it. So that's kind of like, when I finally decided to file for a divorce, it was because I'd realized that a lot of this time I didn't have that confidence in myself. A lot of this time I wasn't loving myself from within. I was expecting other people to love me. So all of these things combined. So I went on this journey of like, self-discovery. Who am I, and this kind of thing. So before this journey, I had already gone into the coaching space because as part of this fulfillment, which was the other aspect I said, like in the IT, I do have a very analytical mind. So I did love what I was doing and everything like that. But I also have this really innate core passion to help others. So when I was doing a business, I started doing a lot of more personal development. I stumbled across coaching. I was like, wow, this is what I really want to do. I want to be able to help other people activate the best version of themselves so they can be who they want to be, do what they want, and achieve what they want. So as I was going through my own personal development journey, I'm one of these people that when I get excited about something, I want to share it with as many people as I can. So that's where my initial passion really came from, that I would like to coach. But then when I went through this self-discovery of my own, the confidence, self-love. So initially, I just wanted people to love themselves more, to leave themselves first. So this is why the whole holistic self-leadership is really important to me, because that's kind of like part of my journey. So I could talk a lot more about it, but I hope that's kind of like answered a bit.
That is amazing. Yeah, that's such an interesting story. And I'm sure refers to a lot of people who are in that space right now. So, yeah, well done. Thank you for that. I want to talk about how you ensure that a new coachee, when you first start working with them, how do you ensure they're comfortable?
So first and foremost, when working with new coachees, I start by creating a space of trust and openness. So I take the time to listen to their story, to understand their challenges, and also to learn about what their goals are and their desires are. And then I make sure to communicate that this is a judgment-free zone. So I really think that's important for them to know I'm not here to judge at all. And so basically they can express themselves in whatever way that they want. So also I explain my coaching process and what they can expect so that there are no surprises. And my goal is basically to make them feel as comfortable and supported from the very first session, so that then all the other sessions will lead from that. So, yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. How do you action plan with the coachee at the end of a coaching session?
Mm-hmm. So one of the things I always do in my sessions is I ask them for the key takeaways, because I feel like what their brain remembers as a key takeaway is very important, because obviously we've gone through all these different kind of things. So that's one thing I first start by doing. Then at the actual end of each coaching session, I work with them to develop a very clear and actionable plan that aligns with their goals. So we discuss what specific steps that they will take before our next session, any challenges that they might actually face. So we address that within the session instead of them going out and then, stumbling across these obstacles that might come along. So we address that, and then how will they overcome it? So they're already prepared. And then I ensure that the action plan is realistic, it's achievable, and also that it's directly connected to their desired outcome. And I also encourage them to reflect on their progress and celebrate their wins. I'm really a big individual on celebrating wins. Even when I do my videos, I'm always like, it doesn't matter how small, how medium, or how big the win is, to celebrate it. So we do that together.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you're not only planning an assignment, for example, but you're also talking about what could get in the way and how to overcome that before you let them go. That's really interesting. Well done. Thank you. You know that this PodClass series is called One Small Step. So for anyone in our audience who may be challenged in some of the ways that you've been talking about right now, I mean, if you were to give them a first, easy step to get going, what would it be, Lara?
Actually, one of the first steps that I would say is just take a small step. No matter how small the step is, just take a small step. But beyond that, what I would say what I would recommend is that to start by choosing. When I say choosing, by acknowledging and identifying just one limiting belief that they feel is holding them back. So I'll speak to the person listening. So just identify one limiting belief that you think is holding you back, and then write it down, and then challenge that limiting belief by asking yourself, is this belief absolutely true? Right? So when you do that, often by recognizing that a limiting belief is not a fact, but it's just a perception, that can be really freeing. So that's, an amazing start. And from there, what you can then do is you can replace that belief with a positive affirmation that supports your growth and aligns with your values and your goals as well. And just this simple step can really spark the beginning of a powerful transformation. So that's what I would like to share.
That's good. I like that. When you talk about positive affirmation, can you say a bit more about what an affirmation is? What it might look like?
Yep. So for me, and
what it might look like.
Or what it might look like. Okay, so one of my affirmations that I say every day, and also because I tap as well. So I say, I'm calm, I'm confident, and I'm in control. So when I say in control, about going into a lot of detail, I'm talking about I'm in control of me. So not my external environment, not somebody else, but of me. So when I say that every day, it kind of like reminds me of who I am. I am confident. I shared my story with you about this whole confidence thing. So I remind myself of who I am. So I am confident and I am calm. And when I'm calm and confident, I'm in control of me. So that's what a positive affirmation could look like. Obviously, I can do a different masterclass on affirmations, because affirmations can be, what's the word I'm looking for, a controversial subject, because some people think like, oh, they don't work, and I totally agree with that, as in some people feel like it doesn't work, but some people feel like it does work. And I also agree with that as well, because the reason that it might not work is what we're feeling as we are saying that affirmation. So I just want to wrap up on saying that with positive affirmations, yes, say it, but only say it if you believe it to be true. So for example, when I first started my affirmations, I didn't go straight to I am confident, because I didn't feel like I was confident. So if I was saying I'm confident, my brain is telling me, no, you're not, and you don't believe that for a second, neither do I. So you could start with something like, day by day, I'm getting more and more confident, So to me, that's still a powerful affirmation that is not, from my point of view, it's not a lie, because day by day I was getting more and more confident. And then at the point where I'm now saying I'm confident, on some days I don't feel confident, but when I say I am confident, it reminds me of the days I have been confident, because I have evidence of those days and things like that. So ultimately, so when I'm talking about like the limiting belief, so like, most of the time, the positive affirmation will be a direct opposite of what the negative affirmation was before. So it'll be a total direct. And like I said, if you believe that to be true, or you believe it could be true, then that's what it could be. Or it might be something in between, or it might just be something that really empowers you. So, so when you come, and I work with my clients actually with creating that positive affirmations, and based on whatever that we've found to be the cause of what the problem is, for example. And I always test it with them. Does it feel true to them? And there's a way of doing that and things like that. And when it feels true to you, then that's when it's absolutely powerful. But when you repeat it on a daily basis, it really does amazing stuff. So, yeah.
What's going on with an affirmation? How's it working, do you believe?
Well, an affirmation, like, especially when I tap it in as well, it's working on the body, back to what I said, that it's the body, mind, spirit thing. So the body stores a lot of information in and it remembers a lot as well.
Your
so
mind,
when we are,
mind.
Yeah, your mind, but also like the body as well, as in like what can I say? Like our emotions, sometimes it gets stuck in the actual body. So it's not just the mind, like the body itself, the physical body, and then the spirit. So when we are repeating this thing, like you said about the mind, part of it is that subconscious. So, we're rewiring our brain, but which is why it's really important that it feels true to you, because the subconscious has been hearing all these negative stuff for a long time. So it's obviously going to take a while for the positive one to overcome it. But at the same time, we need to believe it, and then the subconscious will take it eventually, So for different people, it can take longer, and we do other things apart from affirmations. But to summarize in terms of what you asked, is that repetitiveness, the more you repeat something, the more, sometimes it's your brain begins to believe it, but then sometimes as well, as you're repeating it to yourself, when you start being in situations, because you've repeated it to yourself, then you start acting differently. You start, and then it's linked to this whole identity thing as well. So, identity is another thing that I really focus on, because, the human mind does everything that it can to actually be in alignment with who we think that we are, which is our identity. So as we begin to reflect on who we want to be and how we can become this person, and the affirmations are supporting it, so then we start behaving differently as well. And so we start thinking differently, and then we start behaving differently, which then means we start taking different actions, which means that we then start getting different results. So so it all kind of works collectively together.
So if I've heard you correctly, then the key characteristics would be, first of all, it's got to be personal, I, rather than it or them or whatever. I, present tense, I am, and positive. So it's got to be something that you're working towards, not something you're trying to leave behind, as it were.
And I'm glad you said I am, because I am are the two most powerful words on this planet. What you attach to I am is really powerful. That's why we need to be very careful not saying things like, I'm so dumb, or I'm so stupid. And a lot of the time we say negative things.
So what you want, not what you're trying to leave behind.
Yeah. We say that, our brain and our subconscious will find, we said I'm stupid, so it's going to find for you all these different scenarios that's going to prove to you that you are dumb, that you are stupid. So that's what I was saying, when you say the positive ones, and especially when you believe it, your thoughts are very powerful, right? Then it's going to start looking for things to prove to you that, yes, indeed, you are confident.
Yes.
So when you say I am.
So key. I've heard that this triggers what's known as the reticular activating system, the RAS. To find ways of making it come true for you.
Red car, red car, red car, red car. What do you see? All these red cars, all of a sudden. Like when you buy, when I bought my Toyota Yaris, I was like my first proper car when I learned how to drive. So anyway, then all of a sudden I was seeing all these Toyota Yarises. I'm sure they were around before.
They were always there, but you hadn't noticed them because you hadn't declared that as being important to you. No, that's so true. And I remember somebody teaching me to do this when you're trying to find a parking space. You just, keep affirming that there will be one. There is going to be a parking space, and sooner or later you'll start to see signals like people, approaching a car, or like an indicator flashing, or whatever. So the brain works in mysterious ways. But that's such a cool tip, a small step that people could use to get started. So thanks so much, Lara, for that. And thank you for the time you've given us on this PodClass. I really appreciate it.
Very welcome. It's been, I've enjoyed myself, and thank you for having me.
We'll see you again soon, Lara.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Colin. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for watching. I hope you found that valuable. You got something from it. Now, you may be looking for coaching in that area or a different area, completely unrelated to what was shown in the episode. The best place to go to find out more is our website, which is www.findmecoaches.com. You'll see it on the screen now. And you'll see a variety of coaches in very many different areas of coaching. So you may have an issue or a challenge or an event coming up, or maybe you've just had an interaction with somebody and you really need some help through coaching. So go to the website, have a look at the coaches we offer, the coaching niches that we operate in. And if you want to reach out, there is a form that you can fill in on the website. Alternatively, why not email us at info@findmecoaches.com, or why not call us? Our number is +44 if you're outside of the UK, 0203 988 6666. Once again, that's 0203 988 6666. Bye bye now.